What's up there, crew? Can you guys hear me? Can you see the screen? What's up, Jesse? What's up, Suzanne? What's up, Gary? What's up, Crystal? How are you guys? Can you guys hear me okay? Clear? Screen's clear? Good to go? Sweet. What's up, Robert? What's up, Ted? What's up, Jesse? How's it going, buddy? What's up, Vicky? What's up, Carol? Awesome, awesome. Alright, then let's just jump into it. Clear screen, can hear me good. Means the internet's working better, which we were having some issues with last night. Remember, the Cameo giveaways tomorrow night, but let's get going on this webinar here. So, any of you, the Blaine King Tech Man, what's up, Robert? So, here's the deal. Any of you, is anybody brand new, and this is the first Designing with Matt that you've been to? Let me know if it is. And I know a lot of people signed up to this, especially with the All-Star membership. But not as many people obviously can come at sometimes during the day here. But anybody where it's your first webinar, and I see a couple of you are saying yes, first Designing with Matt, first live one that I've attended. Okay, so during all these types of webinars, I always try to go a little bit slower. So these are designs I could probably honestly create in 5 or 10 minutes. But I try to go obviously a lot slower, and I try to explain it and redo a few things when you have questions. So you aren't going to be able to see all of the other questions that come in. I can see them here, and then if I see a question come in, I'll repeat the question, and then I will do whatever the question was asking to show everybody, okay? And Suzanne, am I cutting in and out on anybody else's? Or are we good? Suzanne said I'm cutting it. Suzanne, you might want to log out and log back in, because I see everybody here, it's a pretty clean feed, and everybody's hearing me fine. So maybe log out and log back in, Suzanne. All right, let's get going with this. So, many of you saw the Happy Elfin Holidays design that I gave away for free, okay, over the Black Friday deals and stuff. So, first thing I'm going to do is show you how to create this design, and then we're going to create another one a little bit different, and then a third one where we're just using some different elements from a past design that we may have created to be able to do. So, we're going to do 3 designs, different looks, kind of elf designs like this, but then also how you can even draw something quickly as well. And even those of you who have no artistic talent like me, then I can show you how you can kind of get around that pretty simple and make a file that's a cuttable file as well. Okay? So, and that's what I'm going to talk about as well. It's like and that's what a big thing I do. Carol had a question. Maybe you can sort of go over your thought process when you're thinking about the design. And I explain that kind of when I'm going through these as well. As far as the spacing, I'm always thinking about the cutting. I'm always thinking about different types of materials I may be using. Can I use it with glitter and easy weed and screen printing and heat transfer vinyl and so on? So, pretty cool. All right. So let's just go ahead and open a new page here. Or actually, I'll just create it on this page so we can look at this design as we're doing it. So let's start with the elfin part. The elfin part is super simple, okay? That's just one of our actual true type fonts. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to type out elfin. And I'm going to go to my fonts, and that is one of our snow fonts. So our TRW Snow Cap, True Type font, and you'll see this right here, okay? Now, do any of you notice anything different with the font here? Do any of you guys notice anything different with, and it's not anything huge, but it can make a big difference when you're making your design. I'm kind of layering them over next to each other, just so you can kind of see. Anybody seeing any difference with, and not whether it's glitter or not glitter, okay? But just a difference with the design. And I see some of you are getting it already. So it is, yes, it is just one color, okay? It is just clear on top, so it could be the white shirt showing through. But here's the biggest thing. With this font, depending on how small of words you're doing, this line might be difficult to cut and to weed, maybe if you have, for example, a silhouette cameo. So how many of you guys have run into that before? You're using a silhouette cameo and you have a thin line right there and it's difficult to weed. And you start to weed it and it just pulls this up and rips it, right? And that can be a pain in the butt. So that's something I do a ton in different designs that I work with. So the font's awesome looking. I still want to use this font, but I just want to thicken up that line a little bit. And I also want to bring the spacing a little bit closer together. So a couple ways to do those. I'm going to go to the Edit tab here in the wizard. I'm over here on the side. And I'm going to bring it in a little bit tighter. Okay, I don't need to get crazy with it. A little bit tighter there. And then I'm going to come over to my place and fill. All right, and I'm going to get this, and my width and everything doesn't really matter right now, again, because I'm using heat transfer vinyl, not rhinestones, right? But what I'm going to do is I'm going to just test it out. I'm going to go 0.04. And I'm at about 7.5 inches wide, but don't pay attention to that right now. So if I do an island fill on there, you can see what it does to this design. So that might have thickened it up a little bit too much for me. So let's try maybe a 0.02. Click on that again, and island fill. Now I'm going to take the black and get rid of it, and then I'm going to turn that to the black. And everybody see what happened there? Can you see how that line got a lot thicker, but it still looks great, right? This will say, that quick little trick right there will save you so much time in weeding and wasted material over the course of a year. Just any type of thin fonts or designs or anything that you're working with, okay? So we got the elfin part of the design. Now let's go ahead and just do the happy holidays. So I'm just going to type out happy here. And with that, we're actually using the Flutter script font. And then let's just go to duplicate it, just to let you know, those of you guys, I know I did that quick. If I just drag down, and while I'm dragging, I right click, the little plus shows up, let go, and it duplicates it. And then holidays. Now, how many of you here, especially on these scripty type fonts like this, how many of you here actually edit these fonts even and make changes to the letters in these fonts? I see a couple of you, yes, never, never, never have. I don't know. Sometimes I would like to learn how to, rarely. Okay, so watch how easy this is. Instead of just using that text spacing tool where I just kind of brought them closer together, when I click on happy and I can bring them, maybe I only want to move a couple letters. So if I click on right here, the TS, what that's going to do is it's going to bring up these white boxes. I could grab the white box for the Y and I can move it over there if I want. Or I can move it down here. If I want it a little bit lower, if I want it a little bit higher, because I don't want it to go into the F quite as much. Okay? Those are super simple things to edit. Maybe I want the A to be a little bit closer to the P, and then I want the H to be a little bit lower. See how easy that is to edit? And it's still a typable font, okay? I didn't convert it to curves or anything during that. Now, when I look at this, honestly, I kind of want the Y in this design to kind of go down into that F a little bit. So, text spacing, grab that line, and let's move it down into there a little bit. All right? Everybody good with that? Everybody see how I did that? Super simple, right? So, same thing on holidays. What I'll do anytime I want to bring the text a little bit closer together, I'll start with this feature, but then I'll look at it and say, man, that S got way too close. So I'll click on my text spacing, and I'll just move just the S out a little bit. But some of these others I want to actually be closer to. So I'm going to move the Y, the A. Let's throw the S there. That's looking pretty good. Let's move our I in there a little bit. L down. So technically, you can completely customize any font that you ever have and move it to wherever you want. Right? Pretty cool. So, yes, you can do, that's a great question, Carol. Carol's question was, can you do more than one letter at a time? Yes, so if you go text spacing and I highlight both of those, now I can move the H and the O. If I wanted to move just the 3 of these, I can move just the 3 of them. So very simple to do that. Yes. Ron, my screen is maximized. Maybe check and see on yours if there's a way to get it to a full screen. All right, so holidays, I'm going to throw that. It looks like I'm ending right about the I and just before the I here. So now what I need to do is I need to get my Santa hat. And you would be amazed at how many emails I had of, where did you get that Santa hat? And most of you who have the mini pack probably already have this Santa hat. So here's what I would do. I'm going to go to Add Artwork, and I'm just going to search Santa. Oh, I got to spell Santa right. And this is that actual Santa hat. And most people are looking at it and you're like, no, that's not the same hat. It is. I just made a slight adjustment to it. So how did I adjust this hat? What did I do to make it look like this versus this here? Super simple. I see some of you guys got it already. All I'm going to do is just double click on it, and then I'm going to highlight these inside nodes. See the ones that I'm highlighting there and drawing around? And then all of those nodes there I'm going to delete. And now I have that Santa hat. Everybody see how easy that was? So I just got rid of that inside area. But now it looks a lot nicer, right? Yeah, you can use any graphic from anywhere. 100%, yes. All right, so now that I have that, I want the Santa hat filling the N right here. So let's click on it again. Let's rotate it a little bit. And we're going to get it at a good size here for my N. And we're going to kind of fill it over this N just a little bit. So I'm going to say that looks pretty good there. Okay? Like everything, I'm good with pretty good for right now. So we have our Santa hat. We have the Happy Elfin Holidays. Now we need our little elf legs. Again, a mini pack of one of our holiday mini packs. So I'm just going to come in here, and if you have the mini pack, you can just search elf. And there's my little elf feet. Let's bring these in here. Now again, completely different. Matt, why are you grabbing the one color design? Why does this one have the circles? What if I don't want to weed out those little areas? Looking at this design right here, you guys tell me, okay, because it's going to be something like that. What should I do with this design? What should I do with this design right here? And how also can I get it to be the different colors? Number one, yes, I see all of you guys saying it already, to thicken up that line a little bit, right? So, Suzanne's got it with the different colors. Do a quick smart fill. So let me show you. Left-hand side, smart fill tool. I'm going to come over here and I'm going to go boom, 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 boom. Why did I only do one of them? Because I don't want to do twice as much work, right? Delete that, come over here, I'm going to turn both of these green, I'm going to turn this like a grayish, and I'm going to turn this a red. Okay, I'm going to take this, go to my place and fill, let's do an island fill, that looks pretty good there, get rid of that red, and then add that. Now, we see what we did right there, okay, what do we want to do with these little circles? Heck yeah, get rid of those bad boys. We don't want to have, that's 4 extra weeds. Just get rid of them. It's still going to look good, right? So, we got that looking good there. Let's go ahead and bring my little elf leg up into my design here. So, where do I want to put this? I'd say that looks pretty good there. Hold Control, drag it to the left, right click, and it just duplicated it. Anybody need me to do that one again? Control Z to go back. I have the whole thing highlighted. Hold Control, drag this middle area right here. Left click, drag it to the left, then you'll see a little contour look of it. Right click, let go, and then it's duplicated. And then we can just bring this over to here. It's pretty sweet, isn't it? Now looking at this, what do we want to do? I'm going to make this one a little bit different for you guys. Okay, you can see we did all the black silver there. On this one, I actually want to make kind of his slippers a red, but I want this to be kind of that black silver. All right, so the way I would do that, click on both of the pairs of the feet. Okay, just learned something new. There's my something new. Look at that, already killing it. So I'm going to weld those together. Now, if I were to just weld those together, and I'm going to go ahead and weld my script fonts up here together too to make sure those are all good. So we're all good. If I were to just click on this and do a magic boundary, why do you think it did that? Can anybody tell me why it deleted some of those, but not this one right here? I'm hitting Control Z to go back. Exactly, because these layers were behind that red. See that? So if you ever use that magic boundary tool and it does something weird like that, here's how you fix it. Anything, because it deleted part of this S too, anything you don't want it to take out of, bring all of those to the front. Okay, so I just selected all those, and the holidays, brought them above this layer. But I want it to take away from the N here. So now when I do my magic boundary, look at that. Everybody got it? And then what about this area right here? Quick little cleanup, no worries. Double click, take that, and rearrange it. Good to go? Okay, how about this? I wanted to take away from the foot right here. So, magic boundary, there we go. And then we can decide here, man, that looks a little weird, that looks a little weird. I'm going to Control Z and go back, and maybe I'll take a little bit less away from the foot. Maybe like this. And now, magic boundary, and that looks a whole lot nicer, right? Just by moving that one word a 1/4 of an inch, it just saved me those 3 little hard to weed areas. Did everybody see that? Always think of those little things when you're working with your designs, because it's going to, imagine if you had to make 40 of these shirts and you had all those tiny little red areas that you need to worry about now. Now you don't need to worry about it, right? All right. So, same thing on the happy right here. We wanted to take away from the elfin. So let's go magic boundary there. And we're good to go with that. And then same thing with the Santa hat right here. Magic boundary. I'm looking at this and say, okay, I don't want to deal with those. So just delete them. And we're good to go. So let's go ahead and make this look good. Maybe we want to do a green glitter there. Let's go with the black silver for that part still. And if we're going to do the feet in red, we'll probably want holidays in green, happy in red, and then we're going with the red Santa hat, of course. And then let's mix in our greens here. Click on that last and weld, and it turns them all green. And then we have our black silver. And what do you think? So, just kind of out of nowhere, right? We used 2 pieces of clip art. We used 2 existing fonts. Obviously, the snow cap font is what made the elfin look a lot nicer, kind of with the snow look. But this is a design and we're good to go. So if I want to throw this design onto a shirt, all I'm going to do, get it a good size, maybe 9.8 inches or so. Come over to my mock-ups. Let's head over to my women's, and let's do my women's long sleeve shirt because it's cold out. Click on my women's long sleeve shirt, and there's our design ready to go. So we did that in about 16 minutes. We started at about this, but like I said, it might take you 30 minutes. You might have to watch this video 5 times to follow along. But the cool thing is, as you kind of learn all of these different tools that I use and how we thicken up the lines and how we use the magic boundary in the different ways, it just adds. Now, how could I add, let's just say, it's not going to be a lot. It might be 20 to 30 cents in material cost, but add about $10 to the value of the shirt. Who's got it? About $10 to the value of the shirt, but about 30 cents. You got it anointed. Yes, Evelyn. Stones, right? But you don't need to spend the time to do the stones around all the text, right? Come over here, okay? Let's choose, it doesn't matter what color. I'm just going to put aquamarine for right now. And I'm going to click on my little drop a stone, and I can just come in here and drop stones randomly around this design. All I'm doing is left clicking, and I'm just basically random stone dropping, just to accent the design a little bit with stones. And I can throw them in the middle there and everything, but I actually like doing it this way better because it is completely random, because it's basically wherever your mouse goes and you're clicking on it, right? And the one thing is, when you use this tool, and let's get on the inside area here a little bit as well, but when you use this tool, make sure that you turn it off, because you will be clicking around, and I'm sure many of you have done this, where you're just clicking around and it's still adding stones, right? I see most of you are saying, yes, I do that all the time. So, once you're done with it, all you do is you just come over here, click on that button again, and then it turns it off. And now, select same color. Let's make those crystal rhinestones. Highlight my design. Simulate my stones. Click on my long sleeve shirt. And check it out. Now, all of those stones are accented in it. That's pretty freaking cool, isn't it? I just started doing this recently. You guys have seen a lot of the different mini packs we've been doing. And you guys let me know. I think it looks pretty awesome just doing a random scatter of stones around the design. Especially it's super awesome for Christmas, because it always looks like it could be snow, it could be whatever you want, right? Kind of like we did with the Mega Bling shirt. Now, I come back to this design, and let's see how much I did actually add. I added 20 cents worth of rhinestones. 98 stones, 20 cents. So I have a total of $1.57 in cost on this design. That's pretty awesome. All right, so that is design number 1. I need to save this design. So we are going to, and I know you guys got this design for free, but again, this one's a little bit different than the free one you got, right? Because I changed the socks and the feet to where it's a different color, and we added the stones around it. So it will be a little bit different. So we're going to call this Happy Elfin Holidays. Webinar. And we got to save it as an X6 file and save. All right. I like that. Would you use yeah, I would use the template material on it, because as soon as you cut one of them, then you got it for as many of these shirts as you want to make. All right. So going through that, how many of you here feel like after watching this replay, feel like you could do this in the Wizard? And I'm not saying it's going to be easy off the start, but how many of you feel like rewatching it a few times and slowing it down That's awesome. Possibly. That's good. That's good. Okay. So I want to make another one here. Now, this one I want to do is, I don't want to do a Santa hat. I want to do an elf hat. But we don't have an elf hat. So what would you do if you didn't have an elf hat, but you want to do an elf hat? I'm going to show you. All right, so let's come in here, and we're going to do this elf squad design. Okay, we're using obviously the foot, which is perfect for an L, right? And then we have to adjust this a little bit, thicken up the line again there, but now I want to do an elf hat, right? So let's do this. And the one thing I don't like to do is I don't want to, a lot of you are saying, I see it already, just go online and do a quick trace. Well, you just go online and do a quick trace, then you're stealing somebody else's design. So technically, if it's any type of detailed design that you took, you can obviously get in trouble for that, right? So I'll show you something that's, you're still kind of using something else, but you can make it your own to where it's not a design that's out there and it's different enough, okay? So let's do this. I'm going to come over here and I'm going to type out elf. And again, the font that I'm using is the Snowcap font. And any of you that don't have this font, you can actually get this font with this TRW Release 65 coupon code right now, okay? So I'm going to take that. I'm going to tighten up the spacing a little bit on it. But remember, I don't want to I'm good if it touches each other. So I don't want to tighten it up too much until I do, obviously, my contour spacing. So I'm going to do, let's try a 0.04 and island fill. And let's see how that looks. See, that's a little bit too much. Okay? So I'm going to come over here and let's do a 0.03. Island fill. I think that looks better. Now, what's one thing that you guys, I see it right away. What's one thing you notice with this one? Does anything look weird with this one? I saw it as soon as it went in there, right? The L, right? That right there. Super simple. Just double click, get rid of a few nodes, and you're good to go. Everybody see how easy that was? So if there's ever a spot where you want it rounded a little bit more, that's super simple. Even down here, if that's a little bit too straight for you there, just highlight those, highlight that, and now it's rounded. And now it looks more like a snow cap. That's pretty simple, right? Good to go with that. All right, we got our elf. So, we got the elf. Now, for squad, we are going to use that same Flutter font. So let's do our Flutter script and edit. And we're going to bring these closer together as well. If I want to edit individual letters, remember, just click on the TS. And I can move the individual letters closer. I did see a question come in as far as how am I drawing the circle around it. So what the question was from Gary. How am I doing it to where I'm drawing it around like that? The way that I'm doing it is right up here in the top left corner. Can everybody see where it says freehand? So most of you are set to rectangular right now, where that's where it's going to draw a rectangle like this. But it would be hard to pick those inside ones, right? If it's on freehand, then it allows you to draw around whatever area you want. It's basically like the lasso tool. Yep. Sweet, you got it, Gary. No problem, buddy. All right, so let me bring in, actually I'll bring this over to that design because I want to see, I want you guys to kind of see what we're getting to. I feel like that's easier if you see the finished design before. So, looking at this here, okay, did I need that L that I fixed? No, but I just wanted to show you guys that, because I knew it did that little point thing. I wanted to show you guys what happens if that point comes up. Now, how about erasing this L right here? Obviously, I could just retype the E and retype the F and then do the boundary or do the little, the outside contour again. But if I just want to erase that L right there, what I can actually do is if I click on it and I come up here to my eraser tool, all right? And then with my eraser tool, I'm just going to actually erase it. It's like a pencil eraser. And then once you get into these areas, just zoom in a little bit closer. And it is erased. And the way that you can tell that you got everything, double click on it and you would see a note or two in there. All right, everybody got that? And the reason why I'm doing it this way is I want to show you a little trick when we get to this other part, because I'm going to make it happen to where we have to adjust it. But it's something good to learn. Okay? So, we got our elf kind of feet and legs again. So I'm going to come over and I'm just going to add artwork. And I'm going to search elf again. And there's our little elf legs again. Now, what if I just wanted one of these right off the start? And I wanted to keep them all the same color. What would be the easiest way to get rid of one side? And these are, again, not something I have to do for this right now. It's just something new that I think a lot of you, it's going to be something new for you. What if I just wanted this right leg and foot? I see most of you are putting to do the smart fill thing again. You can do something else as well. What you can do is if it's selected, okay, come over here to the crop tool and then just draw a box around that, double click, and then it's gone. And now I just have this one. Everybody get that? Need me to do it again? Because what a lot of people were also saying is to double click on it and then highlight and delete all of these. Again, more difficult. All you do, click on it, come over to the crop tool, highlight what you want, let go, double click, and there you go. Pretty sweet. I've never used the crop tool in Corel. Awesome. Now you get to learn something new. That's my new. I see most of you are saying that's new, and that's why I showed you. I didn't have to do that right here. I just wanted to do it because I wanted you guys to learn something new with it that may help you with other things. So, back to my place and fill. Island fill. Got a good thickness. Yes, I'd say that looks pretty good. And let's go ahead and double click. Let's get rid of these circles right here. Good there, and good there. And now, I do want to get back to the different color thing again, okay? So, I will just come and do the smart fill thing real quick. Okay? Now, with the smart fill thing, I need to get rid of what's behind there, right? I always just send it to the back and grab the original there. So, we got a red kind of shoe, and then we got the green and the silver. So let's go red here, and then shift click green, and then we got the silver. The black outline that you guys all see, that's just a right click on the X, and it gets rid of all that. But look at this here. So when I come in here and make these the same size, and this is what I kind of wanted to show you guys. This right here, see how it's a big, kind of huge dead space there? Does everybody see that a little bit? That kind of annoys me. Even if I move it this way, that kind of annoys me a little bit. So what I did on this actual design is I came over to my red here, double clicked on it. I got rid of this node and I got rid of that node. And then I highlighted, let's get rid of a couple of these nodes here. I highlighted all of these nodes and I'm hitting my left arrow. And I'm just hitting my left arrow over to the side. I'm not sure if you guys can hear me clicking it. So what I did is I just made them from a size 12 to a size 8, right? And then I can still come in here and kind of adjust this stuff a little too, just so it looks cleaner. And now that I made it a smaller shoe, and I want to bring now this F over just a tiny bit. But you see, if I try to move the F, it moves the E as well, right? How can I move just the F over a little bit? Because these are welded together. Check it out. Double click, highlight the F only nodes, and I'm clicking my arrow button again, and it's moving just the F over. And I'm good to go. Everybody see how I did that? It's pretty cool, isn't it? Yeah, I could lift the toe part up so it's not as curled if I wanted. Yeah. So someone said, could you lift the toe part up? So what I would do is probably go maybe there and lift this up a little bit here and then come in and adjust it. So there. Is that what you were asking? Sweet. Yeah? So, is there any reason you're not using the nudge object button when you highlight the nodes? Only because, Pilar, under the edit, I can nudge my object, but honestly, for something like that, it's easier than for me having to leave whatever tab I'm on to just hit the arrows to move it over. So, now that we got that there, we got our elf. Let's get our squad. I got the D kind of going into my F right there, and then I still need my elf hat. So, let's take the word squad here. I'm going to go ahead and weld that together quick. I'm going to rotate it a little bit this way, and let's enlarge it a little bit. So I got the S just outside the E, and the D going up into the F there. So, I'm going to say probably, and I'm going to change the color just so I can see. Looks like about right there is a pretty good spot for it. Okay, and I'm not worried about the color. Don't pay attention to that right now. Now what I need to do is I need an elf hat. And I need a bell. Okay? Elf hat and a bell. Fix the node inside. Oh yeah, good catch. Inside the A, the U started to overlap it a little bit. I can just adjust that to keep that A. Is that what you were talking about, Suzanne? Yes, this will replay. Yep, I should have it up by tonight. That's why I like doing the 1 o'clock ones, is because I can normally get it up by the night as far as the recording and everything. All right, elf hat. Check this out. I just went on Google and I searched elf hat. Okay? Again, please don't go and just take everybody's design, okay? Because there's vector designs out there, and you guys wouldn't like it if people do that. And eventually, like I said, you could obviously get in trouble for it. Well, this is just a picture of a hat, okay? So if I just, let's say, copied the image there and paste this image in there. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my good old B-spline tool, and I don't need to be perfect, I don't need to be right on, because I'm not trying to do this exact same thing, but I just want an idea of kind of what an elf hat would look like. So you can see as I get up there, bring it down here, up around here, down to there, and then connect, and that would be my red part. And then for the green, same thing. I'm going to come over here, B-spline tool, and again, you don't have to trace it right on it. You don't need to spend a lot of time on it either. And with this one, I'm actually just going to go down into the red a little bit, doesn't matter where, and start to come up this side there, and I'm going to turn that to a green and send it back a layer. All right? So, I have my green and my red. I don't need this guy anymore. That just gave me kind of a base. All right? All I'm looking for is a base of kind of what an elf hat could look like. So, now that I have this, I need a bell as well. So, again, it doesn't need to be perfect. I just kind of drew a circle. And I turned the circle like a goldish color. So, let's go there. And then what I did is and honestly, I just went and looked at kind of what bells looked like a little bit. So here's what I actually did. I went over here. I just wanted a little opening there. And then I noticed that they had like little lines going up in it there. So, like that. And I'm going to click on this, weld it together, hold Control, duplicate it, bring it over to that side, weld that together, and then do a back minus front. And then that gave me kind of my little bell look. So what you'll see is once I take this, and I can arrange it to however I want, all that green part, it'll go away in a minute. So we're good with that. And check this out. The red, I want to knock that area out, remember, okay? So if I do the magic boundary, it only did it a little bit there because right now my elf hat is so big. If I shrink down my elf hat closer to the size that it's going to be, and I say I want to do a 0.07 boundary on there, and then I'm going to get that look, and then I'll do the same thing on my little bell here. Boom, and then I can even move that a little bit closer if I want. And there we go. For the bell, yeah, all I actually did was just drew with the B-spline tool and then did a back minus front. And you can make that, the reason why I made that a little bit thicker there is I wanted, again, I'm thinking about the weeding process. I could make it look a little bit nicer, but when it comes to weeding, it's going to be more difficult. So it's going to look good enough, right, for what I need it for right now. So now I want it to go that way, obviously, so I can just mirror it, bring it up to my E up here. Let's rotate it a little bit. Let's make it a little bit smaller so it fits on my E good here. And I'm going to say that there. I think that looks pretty good, right? And then let's take it and go here, magic boundary, and we're good to go. So I got my E and my F. That's going to be green as well. I got my squad. That's going to be that black silver. And black silver there as well. And we got our, and honestly, I would probably, just to save time, turn that into a black silver as well. So I don't have to do a whole nother color. Does that make sense? And then my squad right here, obviously, sorry, I still need to do a quick little knockouts here, right? Or magic boundaries. So let's do a 0.05, 0.06 magic boundary there, and then a magic boundary there as well. And now this is perfect for glitters or whatever I want, right? So when I want this, and I want to take these two reds and make those a red glitter, and then the greens, select same color, weld those together, and I'm going to make those a green glitter. And then the black silver, weld that together, and I'm going to do black silver glitter. Can you show how the lines, yeah, hopefully I got that for you, Robert. Hopefully that made sense. How do you merge the two so you do not still have a circle overlaying the long part? Robert, let me know what that, I'm confused on that one. Let me know again. But show this on the shirt real quick. Come over to my mock-ups, women's long sleeve. Click on that and look how awesome that design looks. And then again, we can do the same thing by just adding some rhinestones around it, right? Super simple just to add some stones around it. But elf hat looks great. And all we did is we took an actual, like if you have an elf hat at home, you can lay it on the ground and just, the goal is just to get an idea of the trace of it. Just so you can trace around so it looks, obviously, like an elf hat. Talking about the bell, you drew a circle and then used the B-spline tool to create the long parts. How did you merge the two? I welded them together, Robert. Just welded them. What cut setting do you use for the graph deck? If I send from the wizard, will it automatically do a double cut? Maria, you want to do the vinyl overcut? And for glitters, I'm normally cutting that at about 16 as far as the force. Okay, so check this out. Now that we just made this design, I want to show you something cool. I always try to think of different things. So does anybody have a grandson or a granddaughter that is, let's say, 6 months old? If so, give me their name. If so, okay, so I got Aria, is that it, Sandra? And I got Ava as well. I got 2 A's. So check this out. I just want to show you something cool and to finish up here. But how you can, we already put the work into this stuff. Let's use it with other things, okay? So I got Area. I'm going to type an A out here. I'm going to come over here and I'm going to choose my Snowcap font again. All right. Now, again, I want to thicken it up a little bit, right? I want to thicken it up a little bit. So what I would do with this is, again, just place and fill, island fill. Let's maybe go a little bit thicker than that because this A is pretty big. I think that looks pretty good there. Okay, that'll be easy to weed. So I got my A. Now I'm going to come over here, and I already welded these together. So I'm going to just real quick, I'm going to copy. I hit Control-C on my A to copy it. And I'm going to go back enough steps to where all of this wasn't all welded together. Let's see. Back one more. There we go. Good to there. Good with that. Okay, and let's make sure my greens are good too. Good. Okay. And now Control-V to bring my A back. So I'm going to take my hat here, and let's move my hat to here, and I'm going to say, that looked pretty good. Nah, let's maybe rotate it a little bit. And I've never done an A before. I'm doing this on the fly with you guys, okay? So let's take that and say, that's going to be my A, and where do I want to move it to? Let's go to here, but I don't want to shrink out or kind of get rid of too much of my A. So what I could do to fix that is I could take part of this A here and see what I'm doing? I'm kind of highlighting it and moving it out a little bit here and maybe up a little bit, just so it kind of fits the hat better. And then the same thing on this side. Let's do it just a little bit here, just so it kind of looks like it fits a little bit better. You see that little adjustment I made? Now that I have that, I'm going to come over here. I'm going to grab this part. Oh, which one do I have? This one here is where, okay. Let's grab this one here, and I don't necessarily want all of the socks. So I'm going to take this, and I almost want it to make it look like the A is kind of wearing the shoes here. So I might, because the A is rotated like that a little bit, have it go up like this a little bit. So let's take that to there. I'm going to say that looks pretty good. And let's duplicate this and rotate that a little bit again. And let's do that kind of right around that area. All right. Now, with the A, I want the A on top here, okay? At least from that part, and then this here. So I'm going to take the red, I'm going to do my magic boundary. That knocked out all of that area, right? So I got rid of that part of the A. And then here, I'm going to do the same thing, magic boundary. And then let's just delete out these areas that we don't want. Good to go. And then we can change this to whatever color we want. Say maybe we want that to be the black silver. Maybe we want this for the elf area there. And we could be good to go with this right here. So I'm just going to weld those together. Let's come over here in the green. And maybe they want one red shoe, one green shoe. Mix it up a little bit just to even out the colors a little bit. So we got that one with green. This one welded together with red, and then our black silver there. So I can take this now, right? Shrink it down, let's say to, I don't know, 5.9 by 6.5 inches. Come over to my mock-ups. I'm going to go to infant. I'm going to go to a onesie front, and let's click on that. And now I have a little elf onesie. So that's for Aria or Ava or Aiden or whoever you want. But super simple, just using something that I already had, something that we've already created to be able to do something really easy like that right there. And just depending on the letter is how you would add, whether you want to use the socks, whether you want to use just the feet or so on. Oh, that would be super cute on a bib. I agree, Sharon. I agree. Okay, so my goal was, with the 3 designs that we kind of covered here, I wanted to be able to, because the biggest request I've been getting with the Designing with Matt webinars is if you can save a little bit of time at the end for different questions that we may have of maybe something that you did that we didn't really understand. So that's what I'm opening it up to now, as far as questions that you guys have. As far as what we did here, I don't want to get into completely crazy different stuff. But if you do have recommendations for different Designing with Matt or Designing with Sean webinars, definitely email those to us, because that's where we get a lot of our things and a lot of our ideas from. But, I mean, even something simple. Yes, you could do that. So Jonathan asked, what if I wanted to add rhinestones just to the circle of the hat there? Here's what I would do. Okay, let's see how big that circle is. I'm going to do a smart fill. That circle is only 0.78 inches big, okay? But if I came over to my place and fill and I went to the inside and did 0 islands and did an island fill, okay, I see it's doing 2, so let's try it with stones. Not bad. So I click on this one. Let's take away 1 stone. Highlight that, clear my paths, and then what I would probably do is just add 1 more stone there. And now I just added crystal rhinestones to the inside of the Santa hat. The reason why I said 0 islands, Carol, is anytime you say 0, that means it's going to go all the way to the center of the circle. Had I said a number, it would have just gone to the number that I selected, whether it was 2 islands or 4 islands or 6 islands or whatever. Does that make sense? So I'll show you kind of what this would look like. And then let's go and make all of our green, weld those together and do a green glitter. So now if I threw this on, oh, it's a little too big right now, but if I threw this onto a shirt and I just did a t-shirt front and click on it. Then, oh, I didn't simulate my stones. Hold on. Simulate my stones and highlight it. Then when I zoom in there, those will all be rhinestones in that area. All right, what other questions we got? How do I weld the colors together? Yep, let me show you. So when welding your colors together, I'm just hitting Control Z to go back. If I wanted the reds welded together, I click on that. I hold Shift, click. I'm still holding Shift, click on the next red, and it selected all of them. Or I could just click there, come up here to select same color. It'll select all of the red, and then I just weld it together up there at the top. Same thing for green. Click there, select same color. All of the green is selected. Up at the top here, I click on weld, and now all the green is welded together. And now when I change it, it's going to change the color on each of those to whatever I select. Yes, Janet, super simple. How you copied and also mirrored at the same time. Yes, Gail. So the copy and mirror at the same time. If I wanted to copy and mirror this area right here, I hold Control, grab this middle right side. As I'm holding Control, I drag it, and then you'll see it pop up again, and then right click at the same time, and then let go. So, hold Control, left click, hold left click, and while Control and left click is held down, right click, let go, and then it mirrors it and duplicates it. You got it, Gail, no problem. Yes, I can show what I meant with the 0 islands. So with the 0 islands, what I meant is when there's a circle here, if I came over to place and fill, I'm going to change it to a color just so you can see them. And if I chose 1 island to the inside, it's going to do 1 island of stones. Control Z. If I chose 6 islands, it's going to do 6 islands. If I chose 9 islands, it's going to do 9. And you don't want to keep guessing on how many islands it takes to get to the middle, right? So, click on it, go 0 islands, and then it goes all the way to the middle. And then at any point, if you ever need to do a quick adjustment, click on just that area right there, okay? And click the down arrow right here, and that'll take away a stone or add a stone. So just in case, sometimes that very last spot you'll get a little overlap, so you can just take away a stone, add a stone. So you got to do that before you clear your pass, so. And then clear your pass, and then sometimes you might want to say, you know what, I can fit 1 more stone dead in the middle. All right, what other questions we got? So my goal is to get each of these and the webinar up by early this evening. So it normally takes about 2 to 3 hours render time, and then I just got to get it uploaded, get it to the site, and then I'll post it on Facebook as soon as it is ready, because I know a lot of you guys are going to be wanting to try and create. And do me a favor, don't go create the exact same Happy Elfin Holidays design. Do something different. Do a Santa design, do a Merry Christmas design, do a Happy Hanukkah design. Do something completely different that's going to be unique. That's the whole point, is you don't have to follow along and do the exact same thing. The whole point is to learn the actual features, learn the tools, and have the toolbox needed to be able to create stuff like this. And then what's really cool is a lot of you guys that come to a lot of these webinars will see a design come out and you'll be like, I know how you created that design. But the biggest thing is just knowing and the thought process kind of that goes along with it. And knowing, okay, because what I see a lot is people are scared to overlap text. and overlap it within the design. And when you don't do that, it really doesn't look good. Okay? Like just having that Y go in there and the S go in there. It's super simple to be able to do it. With the designs, great question, Robert. With the designs that I create in these webinars, you will get these actual designs that I created. So as far as all the different fonts and stuff that I use, those are just fonts on the website, but the actual finished SVG file design you will actually get. So you'll still be able to use the element of like the Santa hat and of the feet and stuff if you don't have these mini packs. Yes, exactly. I'll show you. So someone just asked, can you give an example of what it would look like if we didn't? So I'm just going to type out elf in here, and I'm going to use the snowcap font. This is an example of kind of what it would look like if I didn't do some extra editing. And then I'm going to take that, and I'm going to type out happy. And I'm going to use the Flutter font for that. Right next to the I. And then holidays. And kind of there. So, can you guys kind of see just the difference of the layout? Like, do you guys think this one would look good on a shirt? I mean, it isn't going to look bad, right? But that area just kills me right there. Like, I don't think it looks good at all to have this big dead area there. I feel like something needs to go there, right? When you have Y's and P's and everything coming down. So that's what's so nice about being able to, with the wizard, just moving those things down, getting them close to that area, but then you're able to use a one click with the magic boundary. And now look how much, and I mean, honestly, I could even have part of the happy holidays going into my design. Maybe I didn't even do anything with the elf, right? And I just wanted all of this. So I could do something like this, and again, magic boundary, and that, even without the Santa hat and stuff, tell me what you guys think. That's not a bad looking design right there, is it? Just by using that magic boundary tool. That's not a bad looking design at all. Like, I guarantee you this design right here could be sold just by typing out 2 fonts and using the magic boundary tool 2 times. And then I come over to my women's long sleeve shirt. I throw it on there. And that's still a good looking shirt, isn't it? And the part that really kills me is I see people that are selling shirts like this. And I'm serious. And that's it. Like, they just type out in impact font, Happy Elfin Holidays. So, I have a feeling that all of you here probably like this left design better than the right design. Just guessing, right? But which one? Maybe they can change the colors. Maybe they can even make them glitter, right? But which one looks nicer, obviously. All right, what else we got? Those of you who don't know, I did just post a new Ask Matt. Oh, the first one looks 100 times better. I agree, yes. Definitely. This one looks way better. Just by adding a little Santa hat and some little elf legs. I agree. 1,000%. Sweet. Sweet daddy. Alright. So, I'm going to work on getting this thing uploaded as soon as possible. So hopefully you guys can get going on these designs, and then you guys can post them on the crafting page and show me all the amazing different things that you guys create doing stuff like this. But like I said, the main goal of all of these webinars is not only the design, not only the features, but also just kind of the thought process on putting a design together. How to not just go try and steal somebody's design, but spend 30 seconds more and redraw your own off a picture that you take or a picture somewhere that's not technically stealing somebody's vector or SVG file, which in the long run will help you a lot. Okay? So, question now, of course, I always ask, anybody learn at least one, that doesn't always have to be a feature, right? At least one new thing, thought process-wise, designing-wise, layout-wise, feature-wise, anything that's going to help your business. That's the goal of all of these Designing with Matts. So I see tons, several, of course, always, love it, never miss one. Awesome. Love to hear those. Love to hear those. So, again, appreciate all of you guys coming. Again, if you're not an All-Star member on the YouTube channel already, all All-Star members get one Designing with Matt webinar free a month. This was the one for this month. But check it out. I will get this updated and uploaded here tonight to get to all of you guys, and I'll send it out on Facebook once it's there. Then you'll just go into your order history. You'll just go into your order history to be able to download now. Where you registered, you'll then see the recorded version of it. When you type a font in a search area and then want to see all the other ones again, just delete what font you have typed in the search area, Maria. So for example, there, if I just come up here and delete FLU, then it shows all the other ones again. Yes, the New Year mini pack is released. So, and I'll be talking about that. Remember, tomorrow night, Wednesday at 8 p.m. is the Cameo giveaway. We need 500 live. Tomorrow night, Cameo giveaway. Reggie Awards are finishing up on Thursday. Need to get our votes in for that. Appreciate you guys. You guys all have an amazing day, and I will see you guys definitely tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. All right, crew? Later.